Welcome back to the channel. Me, Keith, with Arcade Laboratories, and today we're going to be working on a Nintendo Famicom video game console, and we're going to be installing this PCB mod, AV mod, for the Nintendo Famicom, and it's a direct replacement for the RF module, and you'll see when we get into the video. We're going to uninstall this, install the other one. We're going to do some analysis on the Oscilloscope, and we're going to follow up with some gameplay and then the final analysis. So stick around to the end of the video to see the final analysis, and enjoy and to see what you think about this mod. Okay, let's take a look at this audio-video converter board for the Famicom that I picked up off AliExpress. So this guy cost about $30 to get here in Thailand where I live. So what this is supposed to do is supposed to replace the whole RF module from the Famicom board, and we can see that it already has the place to solder the ribbon cable right in. So in the different revisions of Famicom boards, they had the power switch was either wired onto this RF board or is wired onto the main PCB. So if it was on the RF modulator, you have to short these. And another thing I'm looking at here, I read in the instructions, I don't want to forget this R1. I believe from how I read it is if this is shorted, it turns this RCA jack into a right and left audio. Otherwise, if it's not shorted, you have video, mono sound, and then RF output. So how I read it, I might be backwards on that. So right now, like the way it's set up, it looks like it's set up for both of these to have sound. Now it's not going to be stereo, because it never output stereo from any of the development for this system, this hardware. But it'll give you duplicated, and that's just fine too. You feed that into an amplifier, it sounds awesome. So yeah, that's about all I see on here. You have switching. We have switching circuitry, power supply circuitry, probably filter caps. I don't know. That might be the rectifier. This, I'm not even sure what this is. I don't know if that's a MOSFET or a power FET or some switch. I think it's a switch of sorts. And there's a lot of components on here. Capacitors. I don't know. This is probably where they're making the RF here. Just, I'm guessing they're going to have a clock and some sort of IC. I don't even see a number on that. A lot of other components on here. I know you got to be careful. Like all this stuff I've ever got from China, one bad power event and the whole thing is shot. So, but everything looks pretty good. I've been kind of through it. I've been looking for any components not soldered. The board actually looks pretty clean. The back side, I actually like how everything's nice and labeled here. So we have nice clear labeling, which was also on the original RF boards that we'll look at here in a minute. Video ground. This was audio. These were for the voltages for RF modulation on the original your power switch. And I think this group I think is for the later versions of Famicoms. And you'll see what we're talking about if you know about different versions. We'll talk about that in a second. So I think these are for the early version, and then these are for later versions. And I wanted to show you, I guess it also, talking about these, it did come with new wire jumpers. So I don't think we're going to have to use these. I think the originals that on this donor board that I have are going to work fine. So maybe keep these for a different one, or for a different repair if I need the RF section that has a bad cables. Okay, so let's cut there and let's go over to and show you what we got going on. All right, so we are on the bench. This is our donor board, and it is running. This was our failed attempt on the second camera. So this is the board that's currently running, and so a couple things on this board. What's going on? So this is a board I picked up in the wild here in Thailand, and it already has an audio video mod on it, and it's NPN transistor they're using as a video follower circuit. So they're tapping into the video right here, video coming in on the base. Collector is biased at 5 volts through a 100 ohm resistor, that bottom one there. Then you kind of see where I'm clipped on here. Out the emitter, another 100 ohm resistor, and getting a pretty decent signal. And I took some screenshots before we started because I want to look at some of these signals after the mod. Look for the voltage peak to peak, amplitude, and frequency. So right now we're kind of so noisy, it should be locking in around like 16.8. If I mess with the trigger, I can get it right there, but that's about what we have. Well, that's exactly what we have at the moment. Not about what we have, it's exactly what we have. So, not too bad. So we're going to go through that board, but we need to power down, and we're getting a pretty good image. I'm not in CRT mode, but there are jail bars. So the other thing to consider when you're doing a mod, your mod is going to be dependent on a couple things, and your set, your actual set, what you're using is going to determine, because not all sets condition the composite signal as it comes into your TV. So that's a PVM, and it has a lot better filtering capabilities than a consumer set. And I've already had it on here, on the JVC, the jail bars are a lot more dominant. You can see them very clearly, and on the JVC, where even on the camera you can kind of see them, but with your naked eye you can kind of see them. Look awesome on the camera, right? But I promise you there are jail bars there. And they say it's from noisy lines, noisy 5 volt rails, and noisy rails. So before we take this mod apart, so what we're going to do, we're going to take off that whole RF section there at the ribbon cable. Then we're going to come in and kind of look at what's been done to the board, get the other one installed, and then we'll compare. And then I need to see, is this mod actually no jail bars? We're going to find out. So, okay, that's the down and dirty of what's going on here. And we need to power down. So, and I'll show you. Yeah, we're jumping right in there. I didn't even show you guys what a Famicom looks like or nothing. I hope if you're watching the video, you kind of already know. So let's power down. Let's disconnect. Flip this guy over. Take the ground off. Pull this cartridge out. And then now let's talk about this board I bought. Or this Famicom I bought. And we're just going to disconnect the audio and video and everything. We're going to get this out of the way. And I don't think this is going to be my only video, guys, but dealing with this one as a standalone. All right, so we have here HVC CPU 07. So this is one of the earlier ones, and you can tell by it's got a 2-piece PCB setup with a set of ribbon cables, and also there is no rubber, like a rubber mat insulator underneath the PPU. So we got the usual suspects here. We've got the Nintendo CPU PPU combo going on, the good old Rico. Yeah, we got the Rico RP2CO2G and the CPU RP2AO3G. So the CPUs are pretty, I think, interchangeable between like the Nintendo Versus, but the PPUs, of course, is not. This is where the jail bar problems happening and your videos populated. So pin 21 here is actually pin 21, if you're doing these mods, is going to become your friend. Pin 21, that's where your composite video is output. But it outputs at a high impedance. Got that right? No. Low impedance output. So your output signal, how you manipulate that is going to, going to play a big role in how your composite output looks. So a lot of people blame bad grounding and this, that, and the other. But we'll see. We're going to experiment with this board and then the next one and the other 9 I have. So a basic visual breakdown. The video output goes into the base of this PNP transistor. It gets biased on the collector. I think it's biasing at 5 volts. I think that's going straight to... I should know this. I'm sorry. Gets biased on the emitter. Oh, yeah, on the emitter, I think it's... Oh, maybe that's to ground. Collector to ground. This resistor to 5 volts. And then that creates your bias where the video signal rides on that voltage. So underneath that resistor, then it makes its way back to here and back out to your ribbon cable. So that's the whole video circuit here in a nutshell. So a lot of different ways to go about this. And I bought this one already AV modded. So let's look at what's going on here with this one. So this guy, and I know this guy, he's a good guy. He lives here in Thailand. He saved a lot of these. He hardwires in a quality set of RCA jacks, dismantles the RF. RF is, see, the RCA thing is gone, and that's where he feeds his cable out of. And so he is taking from the base of that pin 21, going into the base of that transistor, and here's a test point for that same video. Has it coming over here and feeding directly into that transistor. Sorry, I was turning on my solder gun. It's time to get busy. And then these wires are your RCA cables. I think it's a good mod. I don't like what I see going on this board, and why I chose this one for go ahead and taking this whole thing off, because let's flip this guy over and I'll show you something I'm not real happy about. And you guys are going to have to keep your eyes like when you're spending money. Now look here. So I was kind of looking at this guy, and this is all acetic acid from a capacitor under here leaked. You can see that board is just completely ate up, and the rust is coming onto the RF shield. What else? Oh yeah, look down there. Yeah, look at that. Major corrosion. And over time, I mean, it's already corroding like crazy now. So we need to get this off of here and clean it up. And if I'm taking it off, I'm just going to get rid of this whole RF module. And the only other thing we're going to have to deal with, kind of putting this thing back together, is the cut trace here. So that video trace comes up through here, or via, comes here, then it runs to here. Pin 1, that's your video. So he cut it here, tap in here, and and not to criticize anybody's work, but I don't like this mod because basically you're still connected on everything that supposedly gives you jail bars. Granted, this one looked pretty good, but the jail bars were still prevalent. So you have the emitter and the collector of this circuit still there and biased and just sitting out there like a big antenna, sucking in all the interference onto the same line that you're using. So we're gonna fix all that, and we're gonna see if we can get that signal looking good. So here we go, guys. Let's get the camera zoomed out a little bit. That's the down and dirty. I'm gonna get that off to the side, and let's start taking some stuff apart here. All right, I've been ready to do this for a long time, guys. So I'll try not to wreck anything with the camera here. All right, let's see if we can. I wasn't sure if I was just gonna cut, but I think I want to work on camera a little bit. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Let's detach him. We need to take this mod off because we're gonna take that shielding off and have a look and see if we can't get that guy fixed up a little bit. And, all right, and I don't want to block the view of everything here. Maybe we can come around like this and work like that, work together. Let's get some of this stuff off to the side. Plus, I want to get that cable out of the side. And that's the other thing I really don't like about, I don't like the cables being attached to my console. I get it. It's convenient. You'll never lose them. But I think for people collecting, having a decent set of RCA cables around is not a problem. And it makes it tough for storage because you have to wrap them up. They don't really stack right. And unless you use good quality cables, you're going to have problems. Ask me how I know. All right, so we got some hot glue here. Oh, we got a big, let's peel that off. Yeah, dismantling. I'm glad I got a hot soldering iron because that's a big glob right here of solder for that ground. I mean, it's good, it's okay. And I'm going to show you the other side. Really, the main PCB was like really never cleaned good anyway, so we're going to get it all apart. We're going to clean it properly and hook up that mod. There we go. So check that out. Can we get that guy out of there? Maybe. I don't want to... I've got it jammed in there pretty good. I think we can get it out with that transistor and everything. Maybe. That's tight. What's going on there? Just jammed in there. Get some of that glue off. Make it easier to go through the hole. There we go. See if we can get red and white and then get that transistor and the components. All right, there we go. Hey, that mod is officially off. So I can get these cables off the bench. Thank God. There we go. Look at that. That's just a mess. I already know it. So what are we gonna do first? Let's I got the good. I got the it's on standby over here. So let's we're just gonna disconnect them. We're just gonna desolder these guys from the back. So it had been hot glued. I had to do some cleanup here. Let's just get some of that glue off of there. Yeah. I really wanted to rework these. I got another method I like to mod with. And, ooh, look at that. I don't know if I just did that. It's pretty scratched there. But this, so you can see here, too, the 5 volts here has been cut. I'm pretty sure that's the, or what is that? I think, let's see. Yeah, I think that's the 5 volts here. Been cut, and the other one, does that look cut? Looks like both of these are cut. And they might be, but let's continue on over here. This is some nasty stuff here. I think we should probably just brush it down real quick. It had glue. It'll get all clogged up, make it super nasty in the desoldering gun. Let me kind of clean that up a little bit. Get some of that crap off there. Let me grab my electronics towel. Okay. Yeah. What I like to do, I got a towel. I just like to, I'm inside, try to keep it contained. And then just kind of get that crud off on the towel. I like to just wipe the crud. Do it like that, wipe the crud. Works pretty good. I don't think we need to do really all of that, but not yet. Okay. that looks satisfactory. Let's get some solder. Let's do some solder. Let's pre-solder that a little. Make sure we get it nice and let's get some solder on that. Get him out of the way so I can't turn it. What kind of tweezers in there? My favorite tool. All right. Let's just warm those dudes up. Maybe try to even move that pin around. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. But I think that will help. I think it'll come right off, and we can reuse those ends. Now for everybody's favorite part. You ready? Let's do it. Get a good angle for you guys. I have had so much fun working on these Famicoms. I got more videos coming. This is just one of a few on the trick for a perfect component. Like that. I think they're out. My goot sounds so bad. Ooh, just like that, guys. Look at that. Came right out. So this one does have the power switch on the RF section. So we're going to have to put this, that has a spot right for it. And look at that. That come off pretty good. And these are like, this is real wire. That's why we're going to use it again. That is like real, that's stiff. That's hardcore wire. So, and you can see it. Big Hog Daddy. I love it. So that guy is off here. Oh, I still got the controller on. Let me get that guy off there. Now we're free. We're free. Yes. Okay. So I was gonna show you guys, and this is, again, like if you're gonna be into like collecting Famicoms and worried about prices, I looked over this guy and it is just filthy. I don't know. I tried to save some of the dust on it so I could show it on camera. And these, I find the edge connectors can be cleaned up very well. A lot of the problems are right there. And you can use like a credit card with a towel, like a thin cloth, in and out. Many ways to clean that. And I really, you know what I do? My horsehair brush, because see, I can get down in there kind of deep. Alcohol it, and I can get down there and agitate and get that buildup off of those contacts. They're brittle, but they're not going to take off like the brass and stuff. Yeah, there's some of the dirtiness. I mean, this thing was never really washed. Got some black pins. And did I see corrosion on this one too? Nah. I'm just being picky, but not everybody does like I do. So that's the close-up of the board. There's the CPU again. And basically, this is such an easy board. Lots of videos. You have... This is the decoder for the controls. So these are just strictly for the controls. That's a 368. I think that's... I should know. Maybe I want to say it's a buffer, but I don't think it is. It's an HC. We're going to come back to that. And then CPU, PPU, your video processing unit. You have a 139, probably for control signal controls. You have a RAM, another buffer, and yeah, 2 RAMs. And we're going to get into all that later. This is not the video for that. We want to get this up and running. And okay, so that's that guy. That looks pretty good. I'm happy to see him isolated. So But we're not done. Wouldn't be one of my videos unless it was forever. But this guy, look, let's look. We got to get that cover off. Look at that corrosion. I think, I wonder if he already took it out, because I was going to point out this board has been partially depopulated. It's had a transistor taken out. Maybe, I don't know what that is. 2 transistors, I guess. Transistor there. It's had the RF jack taken out. But I want to pull that off because we might be able to save that. If we don't take that apart, this board is going to be completely trash. I would never sell something like that. So be careful when you're buying stuff that the price is according. I don't mind buying that, but I'm not paying collector price for it. Heck no. So, okay, to get that dude off, kind of a timely process in itself. All right, first we gotta take that transistor. We gotta take this guy off. I don't think I can do it with the screwdriver. Gotta take the transistor heatsink out. And it's tight a little. There we go. Not too bad. And while I'm talking, another thing I'm going to do right now, I'm turning up my soldering iron. Oh, I already got it all up from last. I already did. Okay, we're already up. We're cranked up. We're like 470. We're like almost at 480. Okay, so that guy is out. You got to just bend him out, and he'll slide right out. It's got a little holding nubby. Toss him in the little tray with the others. So this guy's pretty easy, actually. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, 4, 5. I thought there was one over on this side. Maybe there's. Oh, yep, right here. 6 tanks. So what we're going to go do now, we're going to put some solder in there. So we're pretty much going to use the solder gun and desolder it and use some pliers, finish breaking that sweat connection, and those things come right off pretty easy, actually. So let's get some new solder. And we're soldering on the ground plane, so I think this is what defeats a lot of people, why they give up there. Oh, it looks like that one and that one's already been desoldered. We've had a couple already desoldered, but I don't think that's ever been off, because this, I think it started to get desoldered. Oh, that was maybe to take out the RF BNC. That's fine, I'll take it. I already got 2 points already done for me. But we got to see what made it leak, and I want to know why somebody would have this thing apart and not see that corrosion or whatever. But we're going to fix it. I ain't here to judge too much. But it makes people just have to be careful what they're buying. This has already been resoldered. I think maybe that whole freaking pad is already missing here. That pad might be lifted there. Alright, let's get some solder on this guy. Let him warm up. Like that. I think we got all the points. So we got 1, 2, 3. No, 1. Yeah, these two are already loose or broken. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Let's zoom out there. Get everybody's favorite tool going again. Let's do it. See, when you reflow, let me just try to zoom in. You can see that stuff being sucked right in. And you kind of want to slide around to the other side. That's why you add the new solder. You can't get it all in one. And it don't have, as long as you get most of it, it'll come out. Oh, did I already get this one? Yep. Get it again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got to get this guy right here. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my pair of needle noses. I'm going to show you guys the trick. Good trick to getting those off, and then you make sure it's got nubbies, not smooth ones. You can grab that tab. I don't know if you see what I'm grabbing. Yeah, grab that tab that you just cleared most of that solder away. There's plenty there. Just don't strip it. Grab it and then just wiggle it, and that will help break that sweat that's in there. Let's do a couple that he's already done. See, he stripped these out, yanking those off before. That one, this is another one of his, but I think they're loose. I don't think we have to do anything there. Let's see if they're popping out already. I think it's popping out already. And what I like to do with my needle nose is get in there, and you can kind of pry. You can pry right here. Boom. You might have to pry pretty good, but as long as that solder is mostly broken, she'll come. Let's get it back up in there. And if not, we'll put some heat where it belongs, like this one. This one probably needs oh, look how nasty that is right there. I don't know, maybe you can just get some heat on that one and pop it. We might have to add solder to this one. I don't know. I'm running pretty hot though. I'm trying not to burn my finger. Let's see if we can pop that dude out. Yep. That one's loose. I seen it move. One back here is not being nice. One back here is not being nice. Let me get my little tiny, I don't know, yeah, let me get my little screwdriver here maybe. I don't like to pry on the PCB, but I think this guy, he's about there. Am I missing another one here? No? There's not another one till here. Alright. Let's see if we can pry that guy out. Oh! There it goes. Oh, there was another one there. Oh, we already knew about that one. Alright. So, yeah, the back one might be sticky. Just wiggle it. Just work it. Don't be trying to bend the tabs off and break it in half or nothing. Just be patient. And if that don't, yeah, see, they're broke free. Just got to make enough room to get through the hole. Boom, like that. Boom. All right, let's look at the source of that freaking corrosion. Jeez. Let's see. It looks like it's down on this corner. It's down on this corner. So why is that corroded there? I don't see any capacitors down here. Unless I don't think it was maybe from there. It could have been maybe iron oxide, but you can see it's all right in here. So like right here, all the way. So I don't know if it looked like it might have started there and then like came down. Yeah, but anyway, so in terms of the Nintendo, the video output this was all there was for the Famicom. The video comes in at the right amplitude and frequency to be conditioned into RF, and that's what these variable resistor, inductors. This is all RF stuff. So a lot of they say a lot of interference comes from here, but I already know from depopulating this whole area that that's not necessarily the case. It is better, but yeah, getting rid of all this that'll never be used unless you're doing a mod that you're keeping the RF. That's fine too, and that's a different mod. I want just the cleanest possible. I want the cleanest possible composite signal, and I'll show you. I wasn't gonna say nothing in this video. Let me show you what I've got going on another board. I've got another board going on. Look familiar. So, and I have that whole area. I have all of that depopulated. So the only thing coming in is a 7805 power supply. Right now I have the filter caps out. I have all the caps out, ready to rebuild with whatever kind of mod I want. And this gives you the flexibility it already has breadboard for you. So no matter what you do, you can build it there using existing traces or whatnot. But this guy, yeah, maybe that did come from the corrosion from that shell. Maybe that did come from the corrosion from that shell. I don't know. It looks like it's... I don't know. I don't think those little filter caps leak acid, not like the electrolytic, but he's got stuff out here. There's a transistor, 2 transistors out, and I wouldn't be surprised. I already kind of looked at this. I don't think it is. I was thinking the transistor from your mod, and you could actually do this. I'm going to get this back over here. The transistor from the mod probably came from one of those spots. Could be. Let's see, and I think that's about it, guys. Let me move this. Let me move that. Yeah, this whole part is very tricky because depending how you want to mod your Famicom, so like in order to put this in, we're going to have to modify the case, and that's a completely, that's a big decision for the modder to decide. Do they want to use like a TRS jack, have a cable coming out with, just something easy to plug into? They don't have to cut their case. Well, I'm past that. I'm going to cut every case I have. And let me take you over here. So these are some of the ones I'm working on. Now we're working on the boards over on the bench today, but I got every model. We'll get to those later. But in terms of deciding how you want to do your mod, that RF modulator is so important because you have to cut the back of your case somehow. And these are my early ones. I'm so embarrassed and nasty. But that's why some people opt for the no-cut mod. And then they can do kind of like, oh, here's another one I bought from Dude. And it just comes out the RF hole. But again, that's some of why I don't like the cables. I love it that it's together, but I want mine like that. I want RCAs in the back of my console. So like these, this is why I'm taking my time. They're going to be custom built. None of these are cut yet. But once I perfect my mod, we'll start cutting the controllers, more boards. Oh my. So let's that's good for the first part of this. I am going to step out. I'm going to wash these boards. I'm going to wash this one, and I'm going to wash the other board wherever I did with it. Oh, I shoved it over here. And I'm going to take this out to the sink and wash this guy properly. It is just way too dirty for me. And then we'll come back for assembly. We'll put that guy together, and we'll definitely get the scope on that video. Can't wait to see it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we are back. We washed this board, and it looks pretty good. It looks really nice now. Nice shiny pins. Yeah, no more dust. I did see one weird thing around that transistor. Look at that little corrosion there. I don't know if that's soap scum or what that is. We're gonna clean that up. But hey, so let's just get right into it. Getting this board. I want to change these two capacitors. 0.47 50 volt and a 1 microfarad 50 volt. So let's just go ahead, let's get those off of there. I should have done it before I washed it. I don't think those had been replaced. The solder doesn't lie. I think those are original. Alright, there's the one. Will you come out? Yep. There's the 1 microfarad 50 volt. Now let's get this guy right there. Let's get that guy. So he is gonna be, I think, where is he? Right there? Or right there. Which way is he going? He's going back and forth, up and down. I think it's that top one. Let's see. I'm trying to get the right one the first time. I think it's those two right there. Wait, oh man, I'm sorry guys. I think it's those two right there. Let's get that up where everybody can see a little bit. I can see, I think it's, nope, not that one. I think it's this one. And maybe this one. I hope so, guys. Let's see. Yep, perfect. That's the 0.471. Good deal. All right, so I've got the new ones laying here. Good deal. Does that actually say? Does that actually say? 0.47 microfarad. Yeah, so the silk screen is good to go on that one. And make sure I get it in the right way. Oh, you know what? I think it's bipolar. Where's that guy at? I think we might have to put him back in. No. No. Okay, we're back here. I had to pause for a minute. I thought that I had a bipolar symbol. It does not. I must be bipolar. So there's the new caps. Let's get those soldered in. And for this 0.47 microfarad 50 volt, I'm using a 0.4 microfarad 100 volt. That's what I have. And then I have a proper 1 volt or 1 microfarad 50 volt for that guy. So I think we're good. Let's just get them soldered in. Pretty easy work here. Let's yep, right there. Yep, right there. Let's get them. Oop. Yeah, keep off that camera. Okay. Let's get those guys soldered on there. Then we'll get the other board soldered on. Alright, and my solder is just all tangled all of a sudden. There we go. Alright, let's get that on there. There we go. Just like that. And hopefully they're kind of straight over on the other side. Yep, I don't think that'll work. Alright. Let's trim those and move on. Okay. Got my little cutters here. Trim these guys. I'm gonna clean that area again later. I don't like that flux on there. Alright, good to go. Okay, so I wanted just to do that real quick. Bit of maintenance since we're giving this board some love. Get those legs away before they get... Okay, so... Alright, now... And I wanted to keep this guy around because it does show, it also shows the pinout. You could go after the schematics, but video, ground, audio, they're calling that B+. That's for the video signal, and that's going to get modulated. I don't think that's got anything to do with us now. I'm not sure where it lands over there. They're calling it 5 volts. Maybe these last 3, and then ground. I think it's voltage, 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 ground. So let's work on our cable here a little bit. Let's work on our cable. Man, I'm losing all my tools, guys, right here. Yeah, let's work on these guys a little bit. Straighten those out. I think they're fine. They're already kind of tinned. I don't know if they need any work or not. Okay. So let's get that guy up in here. And I think, yeah, we can kind of double check. It's video, ground, audio. Yep, full 5, 5, 5, and ground. Those guys stick right in there. Boom, perfect, just like that. I bet we can flip it right over and have it hold in there. Use that spring. Keep it spring loaded, actually. I'm going to rotate it. And my solder gun's coming in from that side. Yeah, those pins are all right where they're supposed to be. Let's solder that dude up. Let's solder that guy up. Yep. Like that. That's good, guys. Try to make them all uniform, look nice. That guy got away from me. All right, I think that's good. That looks pretty. Yeah, I think that'll work. Put that solder gun away. Okay, so now let's zoom out. Let's think about the switch now. Because the switch is, what do I want to say? Yeah, if you put it the wrong way, the switch is going to be in the wrong position. So I have no idea. Maybe I should have looked before I pulled that out of there. Which side was on what? Now I'm trying to remember where it came off on this guy. I could probably look at another one real quick. Where did that guy come off of? Yeah, he lands in the top, maybe there? No? It's a resistor. Okay, I'm grabbing another board. Okay. Good thing of having multiples. Looks like it came like that. So, oh, they came out right there. Okay. But, which, usually, I already know, so like, oh, that, look at that one. The one I brought over is loose. Look at that, that's funny. But it still doesn't, say, crap, which one? Because we put it on wrong and the switch is going to be backwards. Oh boy, I think we're just going to have to take a guess. Maybe we can look at, I don't know if we can, that's the problem with these boards. You can't follow the traces back very easy. Guess we could ohm it out and see which one goes towards the power. You know what? I think we're just going to try to make the logical choice. I think I think the red is the switched. Yeah, let's see. The red is the switched. Yeah, because that's on, that's off. So I think we're gonna put it like this. The white being like always having power, and then the red side being switched. And that's kind of the direction on the board. That power supply off to the right, and then everything else kind of off to the left. So we're gonna roll with that. Hopefully those traces are big enough to get that guy in there. They're tight. Tight. Alright, there's one. There's one, and then oh, I think the red one's gonna need some solder flow. Too big of a blob. There we go. Too big of a blob on the end. Like that. So basically, the worst case scenario will be I'm gonna have to pull those out and swap them. I'm not gonna do it on the switch side, I don't think. Maybe I'm wearing my glasses. I'm wearing my glasses, I swear. Just real time, guys. This is what it takes. Yeah. The end of that is solder blobbed. I have to get that solder out or cut that down a little shorter or something. Okay. Then we're gonna give it a little crimp. We're gonna give that end of that a little pinch. Try to get in that hole. Okay. Yeah, I like real-time videos. Give you everybody a really good idea how long something takes. If somebody's really into their mod projects and want to learn, I hope you made it this far in my video, because we're almost there. About ready to solder white in first, and then try to get red in there. I don't know if we can do that. We're gonna try. Yeah, see, even on the back of that, they don't call it out. They have call out on the silk screen there, but they're not saying which one to open and close part of that switch. That's okay. We will go for it. I could probably spend some time, ohm it out, and figure it out pretty quick, but why not just shotgun it? Now we should be able to get that guy in the hole. Yep. No, now she's going. Alright. Let's solder that guy in, and I think we are going to be pretty close for a power on. Okay. Like that. Okay, so back to the R1. The R1 resistor, the one that you can jump. Let me turn it around so I can show you. That guy right there. And I will read it. It says, the R21 0 ohm resistor in the board can be unsoldered to the R2 position to achieve two-way audio output. And the other output is from the RF socket. So I think that's what it means. That you can unsolder that one, you unsolder that R2, and then this guy will become like stereo left. You got like audio right, audio left, but that guy's in there, so this guy's going to be RF. So we'll just use video and audio for our test. Let's zoom out, guys. I think we're almost ready to fire this thing up. So let's get the controller hooked up. We're just going to hope for the best. We're going to hook up a controller there. We are going to see if I can get the TV in the shot and our new board. Let's get let's get our cables hooked up. Let's get our video. Let's get our video and our audio. And I'm sorry we're getting everything kind of far from the TV. Let's get our power supply hooked up. There's 5 volts in. Oh, I see the red light on there. I don't know if it just powered on. Oh, I think the switch is backwards. Oh, we need to put a game in, I suppose. Let's see. So we've got that. Do I got the... Yep, PV in is on. Let's grab the cartridge. Let us find out what's going on here. And I don't see anything. Oh, I see that the cartridges. Okay, we're back. I had to think about what was going on for a minute. Did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch what I already talked about in the beginning of the video? There was the video trace had been cut, and I went ahead and repaired it. Yeah, so remember I talked about in the video and earlier in the video that transistor comes in through the base, and they had it cut here for the mod. And I got a really nice, man, I fabricated a piece of metal or wire. Yeah, soldered that guy in there real good. So basically there was no video going to that board. So it comes up through here to pin 1 there, which is our video. So I went ahead and made a repair, and I also swapped around the power switch, because the deal with that is this only goes in one way, and if that's backwards, when this is in off, it will show on the button, like the actual case. So that only goes in one way, and there's a piece that goes over that, and that needs to throw the right way, and that's why they got the holders, the guide pin holes. Those only go in one way. So hopefully that fixed that. So all right, let's zoom out. Let's hook this thing back up, and we'll see what we get this time. So let's just go like this with it, and I think we're gonna get something now. And we'll just go the one audio. Get the TV turned back on. Set. All right, there we go. So now we should be good. And then, yeah, off. I don't know. Off should be on the white side. Yeah, off should be that way, and then on. I always remember it like going towards the red. Red is on. So just a little tip there if you ever tangle with these. Okay, we need a game. We're gonna go Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You know what? Right out of the gate, let's get a clip on that video output, because I want to see what it looks like on the scope. And let's get a ground there. There we go. So the scope is happy. Yeah, we're happy down here. And then we'll get over to the TV. All right, let's put that right in the way of the cartridge. I don't know if there's another way I can get that clipped in, maybe from the side there. Before we power on, let's get our power. Make sure we're off. There's our power. Oh, I might have that backwards again. Let's see. I gotta get that on there so we can get a cartridge in here. All right, Mike, we're gonna knock this thing out. Here we go. Uh-oh. I don't see anything. I think I'm using external sync. Oh my God. What is that? It's like freaking black and white. What is going on there? Oh, DGAW's kind of, I think we have, blue only. Oh, what the hell? I don't know if that was my, hey, it looks pretty good. Hey, we got it. Oh, you know what? There's still gel bars. I see them. There are still gel bars on there. And they're actually, I could see them more. Okay, we're going to cut and go to Pro mode. Okay, there we go. I put it in Pro Video so we can record the 60 megahertz frequency. I don't know if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can see them. See them? They sure do have jail bars, and it ain't no better than my mod or the other mod. Look at that. I wonder, you know, it makes me wonder about the voltage coming in. If that's from a power supply ripple, and we're still getting it with a completely other piece of hardware. Wait. If we're getting it from another piece of hardware, I wonder if, you know, that's coming in. I want to pull this over here. We can get a better look at it. Yes, come on. Get out from under there. Yeah, I'm pretty much manhandling this thing in front of everybody. But the cables are kind of goofy. Let's look at the scope. That's really what I really want to see. Okay, so we're on the video output. Let's try to dial that in. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, get that game running again. What do we got? We've got 1 volt. We need to change our amplitude and try to get that down to like, oh man, I ain't digging that. What is the freaking, okay, we'll go 500 millivolts. There we go. Let's get that trigger going. All right, what do we have for measurements? We have nothing. Where are my measurements? There they are. Now they're coming. See, man, you see that thing just shift all over the place. Okay, so we're at like almost 3 volts maximum. We're almost up at 3 volts, which is like twice as high as that other mod we found in the wild. And our volt peak to peak, which is really important to keep that sync and the color right. It's about 1.5 volts. It's kind of bouncy, but 1.5 volts, 1 volt, 1.5 volts, so we're 500. Let me see if we can adjust that. And so we've got, yeah, just over 1 volt. But it looks pretty clean. Let's see, but I bet if we zoom in, see it, it's still gonna have that. Well, it was pretty clean. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, with a clean signal, you should be able to see these color bursts on your scope without it being like too much interference or whatever. Now she's kind of scrolling, but the whole amplitude just changed, I think. I think the whole thing just shifted. It is. If you watch that waveform, it's floating. It's floating up and down ever so slightly. But this looks pretty good. There's still jail bars, but it looks good. Yeah, that looks real good. Let's do another test. I want to take this board and put it in on the JVC. So I'm going to cut for a second. We're going to put this in on the JVC. We won't have the scope, but I wonder how bad those jail bars are in there on the consumer grade console. Okay, be right back. Okay, so hey, we're sitting in here on the other set. Let's power on. Come on, Mike Tyson. Yeah, it looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, it's that does look phenomenal. Good white, good black. That does look really nice, but look, you can see those jail bars big time right there. I don't know, maybe I can lighten up the the lighting here. But yeah, they're jail bar just the same as the other ones. It's minimum, but they're there. Can you see them here on the blue? Not really, but they're there. They look just like the other ones. No matter the mods I found in the wild and the other mod. And see this white shading here? This is interesting too, like this oversaturation. I was getting some of that on another mod I did, and I blamed it on my mod, but it looks like it's doing the same thing here. I mean, that looks great. White, black, black. Let's yeah, it looks pretty good. I wonder if I can adjust that. We can see those gel bars, because, you know, for our AV mod, I'd say we're there. But if you're on a quest to remove those gel bars, I'd say we're not there. And it answers a lot of questions that maybe it is. I don't know if it's ripple, it's got to be coming in from the other side. It's got to be before it's switching or something, because that's got a whole other switching power supply, almost like a buck converter. But maybe that thing is putting out ripple. But I tell you, that looks pretty awesome. Let me I'm going to pause. Let's throw in another game. Okay, so here we are with Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, and I tell you what, this particular screen is jail bar free. That is a clean screen. You can kind of see some in the red, I guess, but that looks pretty good. Everything's kind of crisp. All the colors are there. This is the screen I like to go to because I have a lot of color. That looks really good, actually, I have to say. The gel bars are there, but they're minimal. I say the mod I'm doing, the next mod I show you guys, one of my mods, it's the same way. But we're not done yet. Let's get this thing back on the bench, and let's see if we can't get some of that out a little bit more. Okay, before we go back to the bench, I thought I'd throw on yet another game for my own sanity, and you know, it has jail bars slightly. Really, you can't. It's so slight with that tan background. It looks really good. I wanted to point out, like, again, just the white level, the crisp. I mean, that's probably as good as it gets before you get to RGB. That is a nice component signal, at least nice enough for the TV to do its job with. Yeah, that looks great. Looks fantastic. Let's start a game up. Kind of some gameplay here. Yep, that light blue is showing jail bars just ever so slightly, but I like it. They're soft. I mean, you know, RGB would definitely be popping, I think, more, but this is great. Anybody remember this secret? Oh, I thought you dropped down behind there. Oh, you do. Now you're behind. Oh, wait. I think there's like a, I don't know, there's a secret guy. Oh, not behind anymore. Oh, anyway. Yeah, that looks really good. I tried to adjust some of the color settings on the phone. You know, I can record without the flicker, and that's pretty good. That's pretty accurate. So let's get back to the bench. Let's look at that board, add some capacitors, and test it again. Okay, guys, we're back here on the bench, and I wanted to show on the scope real quick. So we're back on the bench, and I have added some capacitors. So I just wanted to show the waveform, and I have the intensity on the display turned up kind of high for make it easier to see for filming. But I mean, that's still nice. That's still a nice signal. I can deal with that. I don't know if, see, that's the thing. See, the whole amplitude level just shifted, maybe like almost 500 millivolts, almost one division. Too. And then that looks pretty good. Let's slow that down a little, and you can see more complete picture of the signal going into the feeding the monitor. It looks pretty good without getting into, let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're still volt peak to peak about 1.5 and maximum 2.7 volts. So that's okay. Anyway, so but can we get rid of them freaking jail bars? Let's go. Okay, so let me power this down, because we're actually, before I power down, see, we're actually powered up and running. Got some Super Mario Brothers going over there. So let's power down. And then what else did I do? because I didn't. This video's getting long already. I fixed the switch. I've moved around the switches, the switch wire. Unplug all of this. Manhandle my new modded board here. They're pretty durable. So let's get him out. So I switched around the wires, the switch wires, and we still got to clean up a little bit around that transistor. But on the back, this is what I really want to talk about. On the back, so I added a, oh gosh darn, what is that? A 470 ohm microfarad capacitor across the power leg of the PPU and the ground. And then I also grounded a couple of the ground planes with tantalum 1 microfarad. So how this works, let me get my glasses. And the theory is that ripple is generated from interference between the ground plane and the 5-volt plane. And I was got my glasses on. I was going to show you. Okay, so VCC. So this plane, all you see here, follow it around, going to be carrying 5 volts to any via or point directly connected to that plane. Okay, and then we go back on the other side. Okay, there's our video test point and ground. There's a ground test point right behind that cap. So anything on that plane is going to be your ground, and see you got like fingers that come across. So we did the PPU positive to ground and grounded a couple of these planes over here. Now on the other side of those ground planes already have decoupling filtering caps, and so that's what I did. And the theory is you could put them across there, and I've put them across over here, but there's already caps over here, but you could hit it again. And the thing that's disconcerting to me about the ripple theory is, like, we have a completely different power supply and the gel bars are still consistent. There's really not any difference. So it leads me to believe that a lot of those gel bars are indeed internal, because I've already modded a few of these and I'm not getting a lot of difference. Mitigation, yes, but nothing coming close to actually getting rid of the gel bars. And you'll see on the next one we do, there's different revisions of these, and we'll see as we'll work on a later one. But I think for this board, this is going to be the limit of any capacitors I'm going to add for any kind of filtering. I think it is what it is. And at that point, you're at the mercy of your set, whether it's a PVM or consumer set, and the quality of your cables. But at least as far as this guy goes, it's clean, a solid 5 volts. So let's take this back in and do some more gameplay with this new filter caps in place, and we'll look at the differences on the gel bars, overall brightness, and stuff like that. So let's get this guy hooked back up on the big set out there, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back on the JVC consumer set now, and I have to say it looks pretty freaking awesome. The tan background there does have some gel bars, but you can hardly see it with the naked eye, and I can, watching the video here, you can't see the gel bars there. I think we'll just leave that alone. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, minus like RGB. Let's do some gameplay, and I like to look at the different fonts and colors and check out the crispness of, all the lines and graphics and sprites. I mean, there are visible gel bars with the eye. There sure are, but they're not bad, and it still looks really awesome. Everything is nice and crisp. Yeah, so as we do some more videos here, we can kind of compare some of these. Yeah, the new AV thing, the audio video board, it's really nice install. I like it. easy to install. Gives you a lot of yeah, gives you a couple cool features. Easy to install into the case, I think. Yeah, there's jail bars there, but other than that, that looks pretty good. Yeah, okay, let's play a different game here. All right, here we go. Some Contra, the Japanese version. Yeah, there's jail bars there. I don't think you can see them, but I think you're going to be kind of at the mercy of your set. I think some sets are going to condition that better than others. Yep. Other than that, so like here on the play screen, oh, see, like there's no jail bars there at all. No jail bars on that screen. I think it kind of depends on how much stuff is like being written onto the screen. Like if you remember the Oscilloscope, like every line, every pulse, there's a line. So maybe if you got like more graphics on, more colors being used, it sucks that, or it dissipates that jail bar ripple. Yeah, I think you're stuck with them. Look at that, but look at that. There's like no jail bars at all here. It's awesome looking. Yeah, looks awesome. Looks as good as any AV set console, for sure. Yep. Okay, so let's play another game. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Plays good. Yeah, there's no lag, or I don't think anything weird's going on. Okay, let's play another game. All right, let's check this game out. This is a good one for detecting good screens. Like that looks great. Oh man, that looks so good. Let's start a race here. So this is like called the unicycle hack. I'm guessing you're playing the game. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you're a unicycle instead of a motorcycle. It's just like they took the back of your bike. It just left. That's goofy. Okay, let's play another one. Okay, we'll finish this out with some Akari Warriors. That looks pretty good. There's no jail bars there at all. That looks really good. Yeah, there's jail bars there. You can see on that all that blue. Yeah, oh, right there. Look, you can see them. You can see them. I caught them just a little bit. It was very faint. Yeah, that looks awesome. Yep, that looks good. Okay, I think we're going to cut there. And let's just put that down, and we'll take you back into on the bench here real quick and say our goodbyes, I guess. So hey, thanks for watching the video. I have a lot more Nintendo stuff coming, but that'll wrap up this video for that AV mod card. I think it's a good solution. Why not? It's like $30 if you don't have the soldering skills. You don't want to mess with, trying to make a decision. That's probably the one for you. And it looks like it works well. And you keep the RF. And that's important to some people. Not me, but it's nice to have that. $30. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good form factor. It gives you a nice, RCA output kind of template to work around so you can mod your case to match that. So, but anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers, and thank you very much.